everyone, Bethany Scott here and welcome to my channel. Today I am unboxing another Black Friday haul. I got a little bit excited when scrapbook.com released their Black Friday deal, and I definitely fulfilled a few things that had been my wish list from some things I had seen from scrapbook.com. Plus, there were a few things that were sold out from Simon Hurley on other sites that I could get at scrapbook.com, so I had to fulfill that. But here is a mixing palette. I believe, I forget who makes this. I want to say it was Altenew, but I could be wrong. It looks like a stencil butter technique guide. There was this freebie, which is a cute little snowflake, so pretty. And another freebie, which was the metallic paint markers. This, apparently, the color they gave me was blush, so I definitely know of a few things I could use that for. This was another freebie, the Festive Duo, which I have this pad already, I believe, in a different size. So now I have the mini size. And then the other freebie was the Gina K Connect Glue, which I'm excited to try that and see how it does. This was something I had in my wish list, the Halo light. I have other lights from Pear Blossom Press, but this was sold out when I originally wanted to buy it, so I got the Halo light this time around. And another freebie was the Simon Hurley ink, which this will be part of a giveaway because I already have prom green. In fact, I'm looking at it right now on my shelf. It is in the front of my drawer of inks. So anyways, that will be a freebie, so look out for that. I also, here, let's just remove this. I had to get my Simon Hurley borders. The holiday borders were just so, or it's Christmas borders, but they're so cute, and I love a good candy cane, snowflake, holly. I mean, this is just one of those, you can have a lot of fun with this. It's very versatile. This one I drooled over, and of course it sold out the first time he released it everywhere, but the sheet music one, you can make it for happy birthday. You can make it for really anything. I forget what he had said it was the music to. I'll have to go sit down at the piano and tell you. Play it out and tell you. But it looks like it's probably Christmas based off of the examples here. But, or Simon will have to drop a comment down below and let me know. And this was actually a set that came out over the summer. Actually around SBC Fest, so just after summer. And I had this on my list, and I didn't realize all of this came in the set. I should have looked at the set better. But it's basically, you can make it into a shaker, you can make it into whatever, but it's the Bright Celebration shape dies. It's just a versatile set. And you have the globe, you have a balloon, you have the shaker cutout, you have the insert cutout, you have the sun, you can make it into a gumball machine, you can make it into a snow globe. There's all different ways you can go around with that, and I think this cuts out the Celebrate, and this cuts out the You Fill My Life with Sunshine. So it pairs with the Bright Celebration stamp sets pairs with the Bright Celebration dies. And then, I don't remember, this must have been a freebie, the rub-on transfers, or it could have come with one of the sets. I don't know. Don't ask me. I'm sorry. Foam tape, because foam is life, and Danny, even this morning before she went to school, asked if we could use some foam tape today, and I was like, sure, honey. Sure. And this is the Bright Holidays, so this is the coordinating die extension. So it has a hat, it's got some of the similar dies, but then it's more wintry themed. And this one, it also has for a pumpkin, it also has the bat, a leaf, snowman face, and then the dies cut out the Happy Halloween, Merry Christmas, and Happy Holidays. So it kind of is a mix and match. There's a snowman with a die. I think that's some holly. I don't know. I have to figure out which die goes to what. But yeah, it's just a little bit different and really fun. And definitely one of those, when I saw it, I held back because I was like, I'll just put it in my cart and I'll come back. And I believe one of the sets came with the storage because it was part of the SPC Fest. Well, I forget. Oh gosh, I'm gonna kick myself, but I cannot remember who the demonstrator was. But one of those were part of her demonstration. Ooh, words are hard. So I'm gonna clear my space out and figure out what we're gonna make today and be right back. Alright, there was a lot to choose from, but I narrowed it down. I am going to do a 2-for-1 kind of card, meaning I have taken 2 sheets out of the Festive Duo paper pad, the smooth cardstock, and I have some rectangle dies, and I'm just gonna randomly pick a size. I don't even know if that's the one I want. Maybe one less. So basically, the goal is, let's see, the goal is to use the die and create, yeah, that's, no, this, because of what I want to do in front of it. Okay. So I have my mint tape here. I'm going to line this up as best as possible, but I am going to attempt to create something a little unique and slightly different using this concept. So I'm going to go ahead and put this through my die machine and be right back. Alright, I went ahead and die cut both the red and the green, and so this is what it looks like after it's been die cut, but because I'm going to be creative, this is how it's going to turn out. So one card will have the red on the outside, the other card will have the green on the outside. So that's my 2-for-1 trick. So I'm going to set the frames out on the side here because I'm basically done with that part, but I'm going to stamp the middles. So for the middles, I'm going to keep it simple. I'm just going to use the Simon Hurley cling stamp here. And I will load it to my Misty. Excuse me, it is time for dry air all the time. Okay, and I'm actually going to load it this direction just because I want my look to be basically aimed this way. There we go. So kind of visually looking at where I'm at. Of course that doesn't work because I just have to move my stamp. My magnet is basically stuck right now. It does not have ambition to move anywhere, so now I'm gonna have to work around that. Yeah, I'll get it, guys. There we go. All right, I am missing the stamp, or I'm missing the edge and the magnet as well. All right, now I'm going to take some actually I will take Ivy League. I'm going to take some Ivy League, kind of visually map out what notes I'm going for here. And I'm using the Ivy League Stellar ink from Simon Hurley. And everything's stuck together. It's okay. It's giving it a very unique distressed look though, but I will not keep it that way. I will make sure stamps all the way out. And now we've double stamped. Okay, good thing we have a backside to this thing. All right, so I'm gonna take this out of the equation because this sticky mat is just not being my friend. I don't know why, it's just not. It could just be an unhappy camper. All right, so now here's the problem. It's a different color. I'll be right back. So I've gone ahead and loaded one of the red, let's start that again. All right, so I've gone ahead and loaded the red insert into my Misty, and I am going to aim as best as I can. I have the Stellar ink here, and I'm just gonna ink up. We're gonna have a small distressed look, which is totally fine. And I'm using the 4, and hopefully it inks up the first time. Okay, so a little bit of an edge here. I'll ink up a little bit more. And perfect. Okay, so yeah, it's just a hair distressed, which is my goal. So I'm gonna release that from there, and then we will do the same concept with the green, but using, let's go ahead and use a different color. I'm going to use the Love Bomb. So using my microfiber, getting the ink off, rub, 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 scrub, 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 but same spots. And pressing that down. So having the Misty is a great way to simplify life and make things a little bit easier for bulk making if you're making your Christmas cards, like I hope to. I make no promises to myself, but I'm hoping to make my own Christmas cards this year. And there we go. So it's just a hairy enough distress that, yeah, it's super cute. And we'll release that. Now, clean off my grippy mat. Clean off my rubber stamp, remove that. And now we're gonna make a border. So I have chosen, I don't know that I've chosen, but I think what I'm gonna do is make the candy cane border. I think that one will be the cutest for the look I'm going for. So I'm basically going to try to line it up roughly between 2 and 4 inches on my mat, or on my Misty, I should say. And then I have some white paper, some white cardstock, I should say. And I'm gonna try to get 2 for 1. So we'll see if my game plan works. Let's see. Here. This will probably work easier. I'm gonna place my sheet down first. So I'm gonna place it about 1/4 inch in. Then I'll put my stamp down. And I'm gonna just center it. I'll cut out the top and the bottom, but make it basically like its own version of a belly band is the look I'm going for. And then that one we will stamp out in, let's do Weeping Willow. I don't want stark black, so Weeping Willow seems to fit the bill. I may change my mind, and if I do, it's okay. It's just a specific look. Yeah, I think it works perfect. Okay, So I did that one. Now I'm going to visually pick the same exact spot, just a 1/4 inch down, or a 2 inch down. Yes. All right. We are multi-purposing our paper and eliminating the most amount of excess usage of paper. We are maximizing the use of our paper this year. Oh, that hair undone there. Perfect. Okay, so now I have enough white space. I should be able to cut these out, and they will become a candy cane belly band. So I have here another Black Friday buy from Artiza off of Amazon.com, and it's basically colored pencils, and I think it was such a versatile stamp, or a versatile set, that I couldn't say no. A203 seems like it's the red. So basically all I'm going to do is just color pencil, and I might speed through for the sake of time. And keeping my colors simple, putting more pressure on the edges on the outside, lighter pressure on the inside. I am not going to go, oh, if it's not shaded equally or whatever. I'm not taking a lot of time on purpose. If I wanted to be even faster, I could have grabbed my alcohol inks, but I want to expand the use of tools that I have at my disposal. And I also want to get back to the basics. I started art. I really caught the bug probably in 4th grade. I always created stuff, but never really caught the bug, so to speak, until 4th grade. And we had a guest teacher, and she had us doing portraits. And looking back, I mean, I saved that portrait. It is still in my possession. Looking back, it was not my best work, but for 4th grade, it was amazing. And, you know, people gushed over it, and I love the feeling of accomplishing something I could be proud of. And so that ingrained in me at a very young age the love of art, not just for, hey, it's a project or it's due because my teacher said so, but actually enjoying the process. And so in high school, I basically understudied under an amazing artist, and really, I never really fully reached the potential of my skills, I would say, for sketch artistry, but there are some works I've come up with that I just still look at it and I'm like, I can't believe I made that. Like, I drew that. And it's funny, I was looking through some papers actually this past week and ran across a couple of sketches, like the pre-sketches, because you always want to sketch it out before you start really working. And I was looking at some sketches I had done on craft paper, and I go, oh, there's a drastic difference between that and the final results. So I always appreciate that type of hard work that goes into the thinking of the things. So yeah, just things you don't know about or don't think about that other artists have experienced, and you go, wow, okay, that's pretty cool. So yeah, I'm trying to get back to my basics now. Trying to hone the skills that I've had for the longest time that I just kind of let sit on the shelf, so to speak, and just let it be. So, getting back to basics, I still will always be a graphic artist. I still will always love digital artwork. Even with the AI generation, there's certain things that I created and then I wasn't everything I wanted, so then I scrubbed it into the AI and the AI made it what I wanted it. And then there are other times where I'm like, nope, this is just straight out me. So yeah, it's a tool. If you understand how to use it correctly, you can do it just fine. Yeah. Little things you didn't know about me. Something that's in my bio that people are always a little bit shocked to hear is I actually started BB Productions when I was 15 years old. And technically I had been doing video editing probably since age 13 or 14, I forget. My dad is the one who actually was my first teacher. And it was part of a class I was taking. And this is when you were like tape deck to tape deck. This is like old school video editing. This is not even like I remember sitting in my first seminar. I was a high school student, and the digital editing systems were rolling out, and I'm like taking notes like crazy. Like, I can do this and I can do that. I don't have to do this anymore. That takes like 10 hours. You know, just silly little things that we take for granted now that you can do with your phone now. But I just remember that feeling of like just being in awe, like, oh my goodness, we're going to be able to do this. Like, I could not believe it. That was even a possibility. And it's just cool to look back and think, yeah, okay, that was very archaic in today's concept of what happens at the speed of light, especially through the AI generation of everything. So yeah, that's where I come from. And I remember my first class with at that time, my video editing professor. And he basically said, here's your computer, and get to learn it, get to love it. Here's the system. Now go ahead and play around with it and figure out what all the buttons do. And I, played for like 5-10 minutes, like edited a quick video using some of the short reels that they had loaded into the system already. And I go look around and I'm like, ooh, how long were you going to do this for? And he goes, well, the entire class. And I go, oh, like there's no assignment, you just play in? He goes, yeah. Is there a problem? And I go, well, I've been using this system for a few years now. Can you give me like something to do? And he looked at me, and because he was also my photography professor, and he looked at me and he goes, Bethany, oh Bethany, what am I going to do with you? And I was like, well, I hope you'll challenge me because I am paying for this class. And he goes, okay, deal. And so he turned me into the basically the on-campus news editor, and yeah, it was pretty fun. So I was kind of teaching while also kind of learning, and learning my chops as a producer, editor, and content provider all at once. And so it definitely broke me out of my shell, my comfort zone, and I'm grateful for that experience. I just still laugh sometimes because I feel like that's definitely not the first time where a professor or a teacher goes, well, Bethany, I don't know what I can teach you that you haven't been taught yet, so give me a minute here. I'll figure it out. Because I was just that kid. That's just what happened. So yeah, but a lot of people who meet me in the chats or come on this channel, they don't know that that's my background is art and video editing. So I've been professionally doing this since age 15 and being paid for it, yes. I will admit though, the first few years of video editing and producing, I did accept a lot of flowers and gift cards as payment. And there was one group that found that out and they were shocked. And they were like, oh no, we're going to raise fundraisers. And they spoiled me rotten. Like, raised more money than the work I, at least at the time, I valued. It was probably less than what it really was valued, but yeah, they raised a fair amount of money just to feel like they paid me properly, and I felt so like, thank you. But to this day, I still remember my first paying client. She has since passed, but she's the reason I ever even made a logo and made BB Productions Studio the official name, because I had been working under basically just my name, no credits, nothing. But she was the first paying client, and she had me doing hours and hours and hours of editing and filming, and it was a gift of love for her son, and he happened to be my classmate. So, you know, it was definitely like, are you sure this is okay with him? Does he know about this? And she's like, no, I'm not going to let him know. I'm going to let him be surprised. And so I had to like be sneaky around my classmate and do all this filming. But basically I was filming and editing highlight reels of his basketball career. And that was her gift to him, because she knew how important basketball was to him. And so I finished it graduation week while writing my graduation valedictorian speech. Yes, I was the valedictorian of my very tiny school class. And just barely finished editing my senior class video, which was amazing. I'm still proud of that work. Like, I put my heart and soul into it and made something beautiful happen. But I have been video editing for well over 20 plus years. And so I feel a little archaic sometimes when people are telling me about this new technology and whatever, and I'm like, okay. By the way, these colored pencils are just a little bit not round, which is perfect. You see I still have a little bump from all the years of sketching, but it's perfect for sitting right into my hand there. And I want actually a deeper green, because that's a little bright. No. I will figure out my coloring here in a second. This might be too olive. Oh yeah, too olive. Okay. We're going back to this deeper green then. That'll just be... I was trying to get a little more matchy-matchy with my green here, but it's not quite the right shade. But it'll work. So that's the history of my ability to edit quickly, because a lot of times when I'm filming, I will edit in my head, because that's usually when I was videoing. I would go, okay, around X time, making mental notes. X time, this happened, so I gotta delete that, So editing before I even get to the editing floor. And I always did something similar when I was a photographer. I would pre-edit in my head, like, oh, no, that's gonna need some whatever, lighting changes or whatever. I made a little boo-boo. It's okay. So, yeah, it's a little insight into why I do what I do. This is basically just me getting back to my roots of art for art's sake, but also to share and to teach what I love. And pass on little bits of knowledge as I go. So, homework assignment for all of you is, what draws you to paper crafting or just channels like this? I want to know, because I meet a lot of really cool people here. In fact, yesterday I was on, not Bitty Penny. I was on Elizabeth's channel. Elizabeth Costa Rogers, who, if you don't know who that is, she is currently doing a birthday bash this month. So search her name in the YouTubes and you will see that she is doing an amazing giveaway. Her birthday is this week in December, and she does this birthday bash thing. I usually do a live with her every year, but this year my schedule is more predictable and less predictable at once. So I just forego the opportunity this time around, but I will be back at it next year for sure. But she is doing the celebration and it's really fun. She has a lot of guest artists coming on and sharing their fun. And she's doing giveaways, which are always cool. I know WJ had a giveaway last month that is still going on through this month too. So if you're looking for some free goodies, join their channels and their crafty fun. Yeah. I met a person because she made a comment about how cold it was in Wisconsin. And I went, oh, you're from Wisconsin, are you? Where? Since I just traveled all over Wisconsin. By the way, I live in Wisconsin, so if you haven't figured that out now you know. And she lives maybe an hour, or no, hour to 45 minutes ish away. She actually lives right by my cousin. I forgot to tell her that. But yeah, her son just moved to a small little town, like basically where I used to walk to go to the park or visit friends when I was in grade school, middle school, high school, all of the above, because someone always lived there that I knew. It was the next town across the county line. So I lived in Milwaukee County, and across the county line was Racine County, and a little town there I used to walk to. Right across the county line and go to the park or ride bikes or whatever. So it was a small world moment. And it's cool because you don't always expect to go on someone else's channel or drop comments and find connections across the world. But I was having a conversation the other day with a friend, and we were discussing how it's like it almost doesn't matter where you go in the world, you will find a 6th degree of separation for example, 10 plus years ago when I was a nanny, I went with the family to Mexico. And we were sitting at the pool, chatting away, baby splashing around, having a good time. And these kind of more rambunctious, louder adults with children came around. And since it was their group and us, the four of us, it was like really nothing much else to do except for interact at some point. And come to find out, they were from Green Bay, Wisconsin. And we're all like, get out of town. And then we're comparing dates, what flights we were on. There were some crossovers of something or other. And it was just like, okay, this is just crazy. We're all the way in Mexico and alone in the pool, and the only other people in the pool are from Wisconsin too. And so, yeah. It's just crazy. I have even more crazier stories, but I will share them another time because I am just about done finishing coloring. And I appreciate you all taking the time to let me just talk it out while I color. It's fun. Getting lost in the coloring world, for sure. Ta-da! So cute. So now I have to hand cut these out. Wish me luck. I'm going to go grab my scissors and be right back. Alright, I have my fussy cutting scissors, and I'm just going to keep it wavy, not super exact. Not really tight or equal or even. It's just kind of going along the lines of how the stamp or the rubber on the stamp went. So not exactly an accurate representation of the bumps, so to speak, but a rough estimate of it. So yeah, that's cute enough. And doing the same. And this is, again, one of those don't think, just do moments. If it fits, it fits. If it doesn't, go back to the drawing board and start again. But yeah, it's easy enough. So now we're going to assemble. This is going to be the easy part, is the assembly of this, because we're going to keep it simple. All right. So we'll start with the outer frame. I originally was going to do foam tape, and then I realized, oh, but then you would see the white underneath. And I decided, no, we're going to keep them flat, especially because I may mail these, so keeping them flat will work best for my purposes. But lining them up edge to edge. And it's nice that the die kind of left a little divot too. It's a subtle thing. All right, and then adding my green inside. And the nice thing about swapping the inserts of dies is you don't have to worry too much about if they're exact because they're close enough. One's going to fit in the other because it's the same exact die. All right, and then placing that right over. Ooh, my scissors just snapped open. Good thing there's no child around. Ooh, yikes. And there we go. I put that under an acrylic block because that's a lot of layers of glue without pressure. And I will start the opposite one right here. And my insert. I really just love those music notes, and because of the lighting, apparently you can only see this one at an angle. Apologies. This time of day, it's overcast right now actually, but this time of day I usually have sun directly right over my space, so I'm kind of taking advantage of the fact that there is lack of sun directly on my crafting space right now, because usually it basically washes out everything right here, and that's what happens when daylight savings time happens. I lose all of that. So now I'm going to take the good old stickers. If you've seen the last few videos, you'll know this is my new go-to, which is the stickers. So let's do Joy to the World as one of them, and we wish you a Merry Christmas. So we wish you a Merry Christmas will be this one. All right, let's show you a little better. Don't want to hide too much. There. Perfect. Perfect. So one is done. And no, I forgot. What was the other one? What was the other one I picked? I picked Joy to the World, I think. That's my song lyric reference here. And it's slightly crooked. Good thing I didn't stick it all the way down. And that's better. Okay. So there we go. Joy to the World. Ta-da! How simple. In a little bit more time, but definitely an easy card where you don't have to think too much. You just let the tools that you have just speak for you. And yeah, I am fully into that mode these days. Definitely shopping my stash these days and looking at what I have already and not trying to overbuy. If I do buy, it's because it's a business write-off and I'm going to use it, so it pays itself off. But occasionally there are things that are just like, well, this is really just for me because it's cute or fun or whatever. But there are times where I'll purchase only because I know someone that if I made something with that stamp set or that die set, they would absolutely love it. So, you know, in the back of my mind, I'm like, okay, the $15 for that stamp set is part of the cost of their gift. Okay, so that card was $15. Silly things like that. So anyways, I hope to be able to reach my goal of getting all of these crafty makes done this month. I am not sure if I'm going to be able to succeed, but I really hope. I have high hopes, but I make no promises. I also hope to do some lives here with the littles because they have asked for it. And if I can't make a live happen, maybe I'll do a pre-recorded and spend a lot of time editing. Who knows? We will see. But anyways, I thank you all for joining me for the scrapbook.com unboxing and for just having a little bit more casual fun today. A little less unscripted, a little more storytelling. And I hope I found a way to uplift you today and bring some calm to your life, because that's what it's all about, is taking a little break and just giving yourself some peace and grace whenever you can. So I appreciate you all. Don't forget to check out the affiliate links down below. Your clicks and your shopping help us tremendously. You have no idea what this community has done for us, especially the last couple of years, just in supporting us. We are truly grateful for you all. So I hope you all have a wonderful day. Don't forget to find the joy in your day, and happy making. Bye!